All right, so let's get started with just a little bit of creating content inside of Illustrator. Illustrator is used mostly for logos, so I'm just going to show you how the shapes work and some of the controls, and then how text works. So let's start with shapes first. So um, I have several ways of making a shape. I can either start from a preset, and if I go in and let's say a rectangle tool, so it's going to be white with a black outline. And if I left mouse click, drag out, you see I can actually make it. If I hold down shift while I'm doing it, I get a perfect uniform square. And it even tells me what the scale is if I'm looking on the right side. So let's make this a different color. If I double click on that, it pulls up a menu, and then I can just change it to a specific color. There we go. I can also, if that's selected, I can also change it inside of here in my colors to the right. Now, once I have a shape, and I could change the outline, color if I wanted it something, um, either I could make it that there is no outline, or which is the stroke, or I could really crank that up and give it a nice thick outline, and then if I select the outline, I can change the color of that as well. So whatever is on top, you notice if I click on this, this is on top. If I click on that, that's on top. That is what I'm going to change when I adjust the color. And once again, I can either go up here, or I could just double click and it will pop up a color picker and I can choose from the wheel. Now once I have a shape and I want to manipulate this, or I say, wow, you know what, I don't want to outline at all, so I'm just going to click on this and I'm just going to say none, which is this little guy right here. Boop. And now it still has a shape, but there is no outline. So now, after I create the shape, I have these two guys right here, my selection tool and my direct selection tool. So what's the difference? Okay. Well, besides one being black and one being white, the black one, the selection tool, you'll notice if I grab any point at this, if I grab one of these little pieces here, it's just going to grab from that corner. If I grab the inside, it allows me, and I'm left mouse dragging, it allows me quick access to be able to round the corners off. So if I don't want it to be a perfect corner, I can just click in here. And if I left mouse and move left to right, I can round the corners out like that. But it's still affecting the entire shape. The white arrow allows me to go in, and if I just go over, you'll notice if I go across, it says path. When I get to where that point is, it says anchor, and that's what those points are. And with an anchor, I can actually manipulate just a part of the shape itself. So that I can get these interesting little shapes, and I can really start to manipulate how this is. And it's what's called a weighted curve. It's a Bezier curve. And it essentially, these curves are weighted to these what are called tangents, these tangent handles. And as I pull them in or out, I can affect the shape, which makes it a lot easier when I'm trying to get a nice clean edge. Or maybe even if I brought in an image and I'm trying to really lace around it. So the black one, the selection grabs the whole thing. The white can grab the whole thing, but it gives you the opportunity of going in, if I click away and just go to an anchor, of manipulating just a part of it, either just the path or just the anchor, or the actual the curves, the tangents for this to manipulate a shape and get it exactly the way I want it. If I want to get rid of this, I just click on it and I'll hit delete. So let's say we make another shape. We see there's a bunch in here. The elliptical tool. Oops, cancel. Where it makes a elliptical shape. If I hold down Shift, it's going to be a circle. I can always go back and change it. This guy allows me to open it or close it. This little handle here. And I can also create things like the polygonal tool, which gives me this shape here. Once again, I can soften those corners to make it a little bit rounder. Now, one other way I can create shapes is through the use of the pen tool, or through the use of the curvature tool. So the pen tool allows me to just click, 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 and you notice every time I click, I lay down an anchor point. And then when I close it up, I bring it there, and this little O pops up at the bottom right of the pen tool. And now it's a closed shape. I can also click and drag. And what this allows me to do is create those handles that I wanted. Now I can make much more clean and elaborate shapes. I always want to close it up afterwards to make sure it's a complete shape, because otherwise it'll give you problems with things you might want to do later. And the curvature is that same sort of thing, but I literally can just click, and as I click, it automatically makes the curves for me. Now, one thing, under the pen tool, you can always add points to a curve, or anchor points, just by left mouse clicking with the plus, add an anchor. Oops, yes, we know. You have to be right on the path for it to do it. You can also delete them. But they will change the shape. See? And for those other instances, the anchor point tool, if I just select, I can either suck the handles in so it becomes a sharp point with a left mouse click, or just pull the handles out and then move them independently of each other. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. This is a little advanced trick. If you make sure that the last tool you had before you use the anchor point tool is the white arrow, which means I remember that I can select just one point, and then I get both handles out. But if I try and grab them, they do this little seesaw thing. So suppose I wanted this guy to be up here, but I want to kind of fix these guys, these handles here, without doing the seesaw thing. So let's click on this guy, the anchor point tool. And you notice I lost the handle that was over here, right? If I hold down Control, it reverts back to whichever one of these that I had selected last. So that was the white arrow, so I click on that. So now I can just left mouse click and select it, let go of Control, and now I have, see, now I've lost the other handle. Hold down Control, click on it, let go, and there we are. And that works when that was the last one that you selected. And then when I hit Control, it goes to that last one, which allows me to select just the last piece. So let's go into some more advanced stuff and then the text also. I will start a new video for the text.